So let's start off by talking about bills. What kind of bills do you have to pay?
Well, in terms of bills that I have to pay, there are several categories that come to mind. Firstly, there are utility bills, which encompass payments for electricity, water, and gas services. These bills are essential for maintaining a comfortable living environment and ensuring access to basic amenities. Secondly, there are housing-related bills, such as rent or mortgage payments. Another type of bill that I regularly encounter is the internet and phone bill. Additionally, there are bills associated with transportation, such as fuel costs and vehicle maintenance. Furthermore, there are bills related to healthcare and insurance. Overall, managing and budgeting for various bills is a fundamental aspect of adult life.
How do you usually pay your bills? In cash or by another method?
Well, when it comes to paying my bills, I primarily use electronic payment methods rather than cash. There are a few reasons why I find this method more convenient and practical. Firstly, electronic payment methods such as online banking or mobile payments apps offer a high level of convenience. Secondly, electronic payment methods provide a reliable and traceable record of my transactions. This is particularly useful for keeping track of my expenses and maintaining financial records. Furthermore, electronic payment methods offer enhanced security compared to carrying cash. In conclusion, I prefer to pay my bills using electronic payment methods due to their convenience, reliability, security, and additional features.
Have you ever forgotten to pay a bill?
Well, actually, yes, I have forgotten to pay a bill on one occasion. It happened last year when I was extremely busy with work and personal commitments. I received an email notification regarding the bill, but unfortunately it slipped my mind amidst the hectic schedule. As a result, the due date passed and I realized my mistake a few days later. When I received a reminder, I immediately contacted the service provider, apologized for the oversight, and made the payment without any delay. Since then, I've been more vigilant about managing my bills and have set up reminders to ensure timely payments. I have learned from this experience and now strive to be more organized in handling my financial responsibilities.
Is there anything you could do to make your bills cheaper?
Certainly, there are several strategies one can employ to potentially reduce the cost of bills and enhance overall financial efficiency. Firstly, conducting comprehensive research and comparison shopping can prove to be invaluable. Moreover, negotiating with service providers can yield favorable outcomes. Many companies are open to discussing customized plans or discounted rates for loyal customers. In addition, embracing energy-efficient practices can significantly curtail utility bills. Additionally, taking advantage of available discounts, promotions, and loyalty programs can yield tangible benefits. Well, the food that I learned to prepare is a traditional Iranian dish called ghormeh sabzi. Ghormeh sabzi is a favorable and aromatic stew made with a combination of herbs, meat, and kidney beans. I had the opportunity to learn how to prepare this iconic Persian dish during a cooking class that I attended in Tehran, Iran, a few years ago. The cooking class took place in a charming culinary institute in the heart of Tehran. It was a hands-on experience where participants were guided by seasoned Iranian chefs in mastering the art of ghormeh sabzi. The class was conducted in a warm and welcoming atmosphere, with the chefs sharing their knowledge and passion for Iranian cuisine. We began by learning about the essential ingredients used in ghormeh sabzi. The chefs emphasized the importance of fresh herbs, including parsley, cilantro, and fenugreek leaves. which gave the stew its distinctive flavor. We also learned about the specific cuts of meat, such as lamb or beef, that are traditionally used in this dish. Next, we learned the intricate process of preparing the herbs. The chefs taught us how to finely chop the herbs and saute them in a generous amount of oil until they released their fragrant aroma. We learned the importance of patience in this step, as properly cooked herbs are crucial for achieving the authentic taste of korma sabzi. Once the herbs were cooked, we added the meat to the pot, allowing it to brown and develop its flavors. The chefs then demonstrated how to add the kidney beans along with other ingredients like dried limes and turmeric, which contribute to the complexity of flavors in the stew. We learned about the significance of slow cooking and allowing the ingredients to simmer together, creating a rich and velvety texture. Learning to prepare korma sabzi was an enriching experience for me. It allowed me to immerse myself in the rich culinary heritage of Iran and appreciate the depth of flavors that can be achieved with simple ingredients. As I followed the chef's instructions and observed their techniques, I felt a sense of connection to Iranian culture and its love for hearty and aromatic dishes. Moreover, I was captivated by the history and symbolism associated with korma sabzi. It is a dish that has been passed down through generations, carrying with it the stories and traditions of Iranian families. Learning to prepare this dish gave me a glimpse into the cultural significance of food and its ability to bring people together. In conclusion, learning to prepare korma sabzi was a delightful journey into the heart of Iranian cuisine. The experience allows me to appreciate the intricate techniques, the aromatic herbs, and the rich flavor that define this traditional dish. It provided me with a deeper understanding of Iranian culture and a sense of pride in being able to recreate a beloved Iranian recipe.
What kind of things can children learn to cook?
Well, in my opinion, children can learn to cook a wide variety of dishes that are suitable for their age and skill level. Cooking not only develops their culinary skills, but also fosters independence, creativity, and the sense of responsibility. Let me give you some examples of things that children can learn to cook. To start with, they can learn to make simple breakfast items. Children can start by learning how to make basic breakfast items such as scrambled eggs, pancakes, or oatmeal. These dishes require minimal ingredients and cooking techniques, making them ideal for beginners. Next comes sandwiches and wraps. Teaching children how to prepare sandwiches and wraps allows them to explore different combinations of ingredients and develop their own preferences. They can learn how to assemble the ingredients, spread condiments, and handle knives safely. Salads and healthy snacks can also be a good alternative. Encouraging children to make salads and healthy snacks introduces them to a variety of vegetables and fruits. They can learn how to wash and chop vegetables, mix dressings, and create nutritious and visually appealing dish plates. Last but not least, pasta and rice dishes are also a good idea for children to learn. Preparing simple pasta or rice dishes can be an exciting learning experience for children. They can learn how to boil pasta or cook rice and then experiment with different sauces, vegetables, and proteins to create delicious meals. Overall, children can learn a wide range of cooking skills, from basic techniques to more advanced culinary endeavors. By nurturing their passion for cooking and providing them with opportunities to experiment and explore, we empower them to become confident and capable in the kitchen.
Do you think it's important for children to learn to cook?
Absolutely. I firmly believe that it is crucial for children to learn how to cook. There are several reasons why this skill holds significant importance in their overall development and well-being. Firstly, learning to cook equips children with essential life skills. As they grow older and become more independent, being able to prepare their own meals ensures that they have the necessary knowledge to make healthy food choices. Cooking empowers them to take control of their nutrition, understand the importance of balanced meals, and make informed decisions about what they consume. Secondly, cooking fosters creativity and self-expression. It allows children to experiment with flavors, textures, and ingredients, encouraging them to think critically and problem solve in the kitchen. They can explore their culinary interests, develop their own unique recipes, and express their creativity through food presentation. This not only enhances their confidence, but also stimulates their imagination. Lastly, cooking teaches valuable practical skills beyond the kitchen. Children learn about organization, time management, and multitasking as they plan and execute meals. They develop patience, as cooking often requires following step-by-step instructions and waiting for dishes to cook. In conclusion, the importance of children learning to cook cannot be overstated. It empowers them with life skills, fosters creativity, strengthens family bonds, and promotes independence. By equipping children with the ability to prepare their own meals, we set them on a path towards a healthier and more fulfilling future.
Do you think young people should learn to cook at home or at school?
Well, in my opinion, it is essential for young people to learn cooking skills both at home and at school. Both environments offer unique benefits that contribute to a well-rounded culinary education. Learning to cook at home provides a valuable opportunity for young people to develop a strong foundation in cooking. Home cooking allows them to learn family recipes, traditional techniques, and cultural culinary practices that have been passed down through generations. It promotes a sense of cultural identity and strengthens family bonds as cooking becomes a shared activity. Additionally, cooking at home instills a sense of responsibility and self-efficiency. As young people actively participate in meal planning, grocery shopping, and meal preparation, these skills are invaluable for their future independence and overall well-being. On the other hand, incorporating cooking education into school curriculum is equally important. Schools can provide structured cooking programs that introduce young people to a broader range of culinary techniques, food safety practices, and nutrition principles. Cooking classes at school can expose them to new ingredients, cooking styles, and international cuisines, expanding their culinary horizons. Moreover, cooking in a school setting fosters collaboration, teamwork, and communication skills as students work together to create meals. It also allows access to professional grade equipment and facilities that may not be available in every home. By combining home-based cooking experiences with school-based cooking education, young people receive a comprehensive culinary education. They benefit from the traditions and intimate knowledge of cooking at home, while also gaining exposure to a wider culinary world through school programs. This integrated approach ensures that young people develop a strong foundation in cooking, enabling them to make healthier food choices, pursue culinary careers, and become self-sufficient individuals. In conclusion, I believe that a combination of learning to cook at home and at school is crucial for young people. It provides them with diverse experiences, a deep understanding of culinary traditions, and the necessary skills to lead a healthy and independent life. Well, hello everybody, and welcome back to another analysis session. We're going to be doing the final speaking section of Book 18, Test 1. Before I start the session, I would really like to thank everybody for supporting us, watching our videos and liking us. And please know that we do appreciate it a lot, and it means the world to us. And thank you for doing that, and I hope you keep doing it. And it is the best way you can support us, and it really is heartwarming for us, and it helps us keep going and producing actually more videos for you. So without any further ado, let's get straight to it. The first question that was asked in the first part was, what kinds of bills do you have to pay? A bill is something that you pay, for example, it's actually a utility bill for water, gas, or any other appliances that you have in your home. The first sentence of the speaking on section 1 went as such: in terms of bills that I have to pay, there are several categories that come to mind. In terms of, that's the first expression which is used here. In terms of means regarding or with regards to. It's a very good way to start your speaking, to actually talk about a specific thing or item. In terms of, after that you talk about the item that you want to say. So in terms of, when you use this expression, after that comes the item. Here the item the candidate is talking about are the bills that he has to pay, that I have to pay. Okay, that he's obligated to pay them. That means that have to is used when you have an internal obligation to do something. It comes from the outside and you are obliged by law or something related to that in order to do that. There are several categories that come to mind. There are several different things, okay? Instead of categories, the candidate could have easily used the words things, but category is a much better word to use, that come to mind. Now, this is an expression which I want to take a deeper look at. If something comes to mind, it means you think of it, or it rings a bell, for example. Now, this is a very, very good expression to use, and it's also used in this form. We say what comes to mind is. It means what I can think of, what the thing that comes to my memory when I talk about this is that. So, that in terms of bills that I have to pay, there are several categories that come to mind. Now the candidate wants to talk about the specific categories that he believes are important when it comes to paying bills. Firstly, there are utility bills, which encompass payments for electricity, water, and gas services. Now, utility bills are exactly these bills. Utility bills are the bills that you pay for electricity, water, or gas. Okay, or as we say, water, but both of them are correct. So a utility bill is a bill that you pay because you have used electricity, water, or gas. And the word here we want to talk about is encompass, which encompass payments, which include. Encompass here means include. So it has, the candidate uses a very, very nice form of the verb. Instead of using include, it uses encompass, which is a very nice replacement and a very nice synonym for the word include. Next sentence moves on here. These bills are essential for maintaining a comfortable living environment and ensuring access to basic amenities. Now, the first thing we want to talk about here is essential for, let me highlight that, maintaining something. If something is essential, it means it's necessary, it's vital, it's fundamental, it's crucial. All of these are synonyms for the word essential. So these bills are essential for maintaining something. Maintaining what? A comfortable living environment. Now, this is also a collocation that, this is also a collocation which the candidate uses here: comfortable living environment and ensuring access to basic amenities. Now, if you ensure access, it means you make sure that you have access to something, or that specific thing is available for you. Amenity is something that makes a place comfortable or easy to live in. So if something is an amenity, it actually makes your life easier, makes your life more comfortable. These are and the basic amenities are actually electricity, water and gas in this specific context. Next sentence. Secondly, there are housing related bills such as rent or mortgage payment. So the second thing that he believes that he has to pay are bills related to taking care of the house, like rent or mortgage. A rent is when you rent an apartment. It means you don't own that place, somebody else owns it, and you actually go and live in that person's house, and you pay an amount of money to that person, to the owner of the house, in return for living there. And the mortgage, okay, this is another very nice expression which is used. And before I explain the meaning, I have to say that this is a very good related vocabulary which is used here. A mortgage is when you borrow money from a bank or any kind of an organization in order to buy a house. So the bank actually lends you money in order to buy a house, and then you pay back the money over a period of some years. For example, you take out a mortgage on your house, and the expression is take out, for example, 20-year mortgage. If you take out a 20-year mortgage, it means you have borrowed money from the bank in order to buy a house, and you're going to repay that money to the bank in the actually course of 20 years. Another type of bill that I regularly encounter is the internet and phone bill. So if you encounter something, you experience it. This is another word which is very, very beautiful here. Another type of bill that I regularly encounter. Now, pay attention to the use of the adverb regularly. It hasn't just said another type of bill I have to pay. So because we already have pay here, so it's trying to replace that word or that verb with a different one. He's used the verb encounter, so which means face, or in this case also means pay. Another type of bill that I regularly encounter, face, is the internet and phone bill. First, I would like to apologize for the typo here. Internet, I want to talk about the word internet here. When internet is a noun, in which in this case it is, it always has to take the definite article the. So if you want to use internet as a noun, which means referring to the internet, which we all use, you have to use it with a the, and the I has to be capitalized. So here, this is a typo. It had to be capitalized. I do apologize for that. So when it is a noun, it's always the internet, and it's always capitalized. If it's not a noun, the word internet can be used as an adjective. For example, an internet connection. In this case, internet is an adjective for the word connection. It doesn't have to be capitalized, and it doesn't have to include the before it. And phone bill, the bill you pay in order for the amount of time you have talked on the phone. Additionally, furthermore, moreover, we've talked about this word, very beautiful cohesive device in order to start your sentences. There are bills associated with transportation, such as fuel costs and vehicle maintenance. So other bills that he has to pay, if something is associated with something, it means it is related to that thing. So there are bills that are related to transportation, means going from one place to another, such as fuel costs. It means filling your car with gas or fuel, which is what makes your car run, and vehicle maintenance. If you maintain something, it means you take care of it. So you take care of something, and here we all know that when you have a car or whatever, you have to maintain that car. You have to take care of it in order for it not to break down or anything like that. Furthermore, now look at this. Here the candidate used additionally. In the next sentence, he's replacing it with the word furthermore. There are bills related to healthcare and insurance. So other types of bills that he has to pay is healthcare, taking care of himself, and insurance. Insurance means when you pay an amount of money for a company to make sure if something happens to you or to your car or whatever, they take care of the expenses. Overall, in general, managing and budgeting for various bills is a fundamental aspect of adult life. So if you manage something, it means you take care of it. If you budget something, it means you provide the money for that thing. So managing and budgeting various bills, different types of bills, is a fundamental aspect of adult life. Now, this is a beautiful chunk which you can use when you want to talk about something related to adult life. it means that it's fundamental here also is a synonym for the word essential, which we had up here, is an essential or a fundamental aspect of adult life. It means if you're a grown-up, you have to actually manage and budget what you're trying to do. This was the first answer. Let's take a look at some of the vocabulary which is related to that. I talked about utility bills. The utility bills are the bills that you pay when you have a house or anything like that, which includes water, gas, and electricity and other things which were mentioned here. Maintain a comfortable living environment. This was also a very beautiful chunk which can be used, a very beautiful sentence. Rent and mortgage payments. So if you pay your money for your rent and your mortgage, I talked about mortgage, is the amount of money that you pay to a bank because you have taken out a loan in order to buy a house. Mortgage is the money you pay back to the bank because of the house you have bought. Pay something on a monthly basis. Now, as you already know, I think you're familiar with the analysis that I do. Some of the expressions which I work on here are not mentioned in this speaking, but I do add them in order for you to use them if you want to provide your own answer, or if you want to think of providing your own answer. Pay something on a monthly basis. It means that you pay an amount of money as bill monthly, each month. Stable living situation. Now, this was also a very beautiful chunk which I found interesting if you want to talk about this kind of topic. A stable living situation is a situation in which you have a certain amount of stability. Okay, it can be taken as a synonym for comfortable living environment. To some extent, this can be a synonym for this. Now, I want to talk about this verb. Allocate something to somebody or something. The allocators means to actually use something for a particular purpose. Okay, so now this is an example I also gave for this. I allocate a portion of my budget to cover certain expenses. Okay, so if you allocate a portion, an amount of your budget for something, it means you use it for a specific purpose. Unforeseen expenses and unexpected financial burdens. Both of these are synonyms. They actually mean that something which is a financial burden or is an expense or is an amount of money that you have to pay that is unforeseen or unexpected, which means it was not part of your plan, it just came up. For example, God forbid you get into an accident or something happens to your house and you have to pay an extra amount of money which you have not scheduled beforehand. That is actually an unforeseen expense. And make a payment is the last one I want to talk about here. It means to pay something, which is a very good expression to use when you're talking about bills and things like that. Now let's move on to the second question. How do you usually pay your bills, in cash or by another method? This is a very nice question to be asked. It's a very daily question which happens on a daily basis to all of us. When it comes to paying my bills, now I want to draw your attention to this. In terms of bills, here the candidate uses when it comes to paying my bills. So in terms of, when it comes to, both of them are the same. And because they finish with a preposition, after that, if you are to use a verb, the verb has to be in the form of an ing verb. So when it comes to is a synonym for in terms of, and paying my bills, I primarily use electronic payment methods rather than cash. Okay, means I firstly use electronic payment methods. It means I do everything through my phone or without using actual cash. Cash means the amount, the physical money that you have. There are a few reasons why I find this method more convenient and practical. There are a few reasons, a number of reasons, some reasons that I find this method more convenient and practical. Convenient and practical can be synonyms to a great extent. If something is convenient, it means it's comfortable. And if something is practical, it means it's done easily. So now I want to talk about why paying through electronic payment methods is actually more convenient. Firstly, electronic payment methods such as online banking. Now this is a very good actually vocabulary which is being used here, or mobile payment apps, which we nowadays all use, these types of apps in order to pay for our, not just our bills, but also for our other expenses, offer a high level of convenience. If something offers a high level of convenience, it means it's very comfortable for you and you actually do like using that form of payment. Secondly, electronic payment methods provide a reliable and traceable record of my transaction. Now, if something is reliable, it means you can rely on it. Okay, if something is traceable, it means you can keep a record of it, a traceable record of my transactions. If you can trace something, it means you can see how much you've paid, when you've paid, to who you have paid that amount of money. So that's a very interesting word. And he could have easily omitted, the candidate could have said it without this. You could have said electronic payment methods provide reliable transactions, or provide a record of my transactions. But when it's traceable, it means you can trace it back to a certain day, to a certain actually transaction you made. I also want to talk about the word record here. Here, record is a noun. When record is a noun, pay attention to the pronunciation, it's pronounced record. It means that to actually note down the things that you have done. So it's like keep a record of something. When it's a verb, it's pronounced record, and it means a completely different thing. It means to, for example, record an album or something like that. Also, as a noun, record also means a music album or a record album. We also have that. So pay attention to the pronunciation of this word: record as a verb, record as a noun. This is particularly useful. This is very useful. This is really useful instead of very and really. The candidate has opted for the word particularly useful for keeping track of my expenses. Now, keep track of something is the same as keep a record of something. These are synonyms. Keep a record of something, keep track of something. Keep track of expenses, the amount of money that he spends, and maintaining financial records. Keeping financial records. Now this record is the same as here, the record which is being used in the previous sentence. Furthermore, you already are familiar with this, electronic payment methods offer enhanced security compared to carrying cash. So if you pay electronically, the security that you have for your money is enhanced. It means it's improved. It's much better. Instead of using better security, it has used the word, the candidate has used the word enhanced security compared with carrying cash, which is actually pretty obvious and clear that if you carry cash around, there is the chance that you might get robbed or mugged or anything like that. In conclusion, I prefer to pay my bills using electronic payment methods. So in conclusion is a way of wrapping it up, to sum up. He prefers to pay his bills using electronic payment methods due to their convenience, to them being comfortable, reliability, he can rely on this form of payment, security, it is secure, and additional features or elements that give actually extra reason for for a specific person to actually pay through electronic methods. Okay, let's take a look at the vocabulary. Electronic payment methods, we talked about this. It's a way of paying your bills or anything related to that electronically. Online banking is, I think, the most regular type of banking these days. We do not actually go to the banks and stand in line anymore. Mobile payment apps, it's an app that you use in order to pay your bills online through your mobile phone, offer a high level of convenience. We also have this as a very nice expression in this specific question. If something offers a high level of convenience, it means that thing is very, very convenient. Access your account. If you access your account, you have access to your account. You can reach your account and take a look at it. Make a cash payment. This was also a very nice expression which can be used in order to answer this type of question. So some people prefer to do some things through cash or make a cash payment. Reliable and traceable record. We have this here, which if something is reliable, it means you can really rely on it. If it's traceable, it means you can trace it back. You can see where it goes. Keep track of my expenses. Keep a record of my expenses was the synonym we used for this one. Spending pattern. Now, this is a very beautiful expression, which I think can come in really handy if you want to talk about this certain type of topic. If you have a spending pattern, it means you spend money in a specific way. For example, if you have a mortgage or a rent, you have to pay it. For example, your mortgage or rent is due on the 5th day of each month. So that creates a pattern. You have to pay the bills, for example, on the 10th day of each month. That creates another pattern. So every month you have to do a certain number of things. Another couple of expressions, automatic recurring payments or billing. Now, this is a very beautiful expression. An automatic recurring payment happens when customers authorize a merchant or a bank. Now, in today's words, banks are much more actually into doing such things, to charge them repeatedly for goods or services on a permanent basis. Schedule. So, what an automatic recurring payment or billing is that you allow the bank to withdraw money from your account in order to pay a bill or in order to pay a service. And the bank doesn't inform you any longer because you have already given the bank the permission to do such a thing from your account. So automatic recurring payment or billing is something which can also be used. And settle a bill means to pay the bill. So instead of saying pay a bill, you can use the expression to settle a bill. Third question, have you ever forgotten to pay a bill? So I think this has happened to nearly most of us who are listening to this analysis form. But anywho, if it hasn't happened to you, good luck. And you are really a very, very good person when it comes to your expenses. I have forgotten to pay a bill. The answer was this. Yes, I have forgotten to pay a bill on one occasion. One occasion means one time, in a specific instant. It happened last year, it happened a year ago when I was extremely busy. Now, again, I want to emphasize the use of the adverbs extremely busy, not very busy. So, try to completely, this is actually a recommendation I have, try to completely eliminate the word very from your vocabulary. Don't use it at all. There are a million replacements which are way more beautiful than using the word very. Here it is used one. Extremely busy, same as very busy, but way more beautiful than that. With work and personal commitments. So the candidate was busy because he had a lot of work to do and he had a lot of personal responsibilities. A commitment is a responsibility that you take on. I received an email notification. We all know what a notification is. If you have a program on your phone and you can allow it to send you a notification so you can see what's going on regarding the bill. But unfortunately, it slipped my mind amidst the hectic schedule. If something slips your mind, it means you forget about that thing completely and totally. So it has slipped his mind. Amidst means among the hectic schedule. If you have a hectic day, it means you have a very busy day. So a hectic schedule is a very busy day which is full of activity. As a result, therefore, the due date passed. A due date is a date which is set for you in order to get a specific thing done. It can be used for a wide plethora of things. For example, due date can be used for a lady who is pregnant. It can be used for the time that you have to hand in an assignment or a project to your professor at university. And in this case, it is used for the time that you have in order to pay a bill. So you have a certain actually time or date that you have to pay it. And the interesting thing is that the most important thing for due dates is a mortgage that you have taken out on your house. Passed. And I figured out my mistake, that he had made a mistake a few days later. So after some days, he has actually realized that he has forgotten to pay a specific bill when I received a reminder. So you can set a reminder on your phone to remind you to do things. So this phone has given him a reminder that you have forgotten to pay a specific bill. I immediately contacted the service provider. A service provider is somebody that provides a certain specific service for you. Apologized for the oversight Apologize means to say you're sorry for the oversight. Now, and made the payment without any delay. If you make a payment, it means you pay something. So I think we already had that in the previous section of the speaking. So, and an oversight, excuse me. So, apologize for the oversight. Here we have the word oversight. Oversight actually means mistake or something which has happened mistakenly. Okay, or you have a mistake which you forgot something or do not notice something. That is a specific type of mistake which is used here. It's a very beautiful word to use. So if you forget something or you do not notice it and it leads to a mistake, it's referred to as an oversight. Since then, from that time on, I have been more vigilant about managing my bills and have set up reminders to ensure timely payments. Okay, so since that time the candidate has been much more vigilant. If you are vigilant about something, you are very careful about that thing and you pay very close attention so you don't forget about it. So he's been very careful. Instead of careful, it has used vigilance. About managing my bills, we talked about that, and have set up reminders and have created reminders to ensure timely payments. A timely payment is something that you pay before its due date has passed. Last sentence, I have learned from this experience, the candidate has actually learned something and now strive to be more organized in handling my financial responsibilities. If you strive to do something, you make a great effort in order to do something. If you are organized, everything you do has a specific type of organization. In handling my financial responsibilities, in handle means take care of, in taking care of his financial responsibilities. Let's recap the vocabulary. Personal commitment is something that you are committed to doing personally. If something slips your mind, you have forgotten about it. So you can say, excuse me, it slipped my mind. Amidst and amid are both synonyms, means among or surrounded by something. Hectic schedule, we talked about this a couple of minutes back, means very busy or full of activity. A due date is the date on which something is supposed to happen. I talked about this and I gave you some examples of what due dates might be, like the day a baby is supposed to be delivered into the world by his mother. An oversight is a mistake in which you forget something or do not notice something. So if you have an oversight, you make a mistake by forgetting or not noticing something. If you are vigilant, you pay careful attention to what is happening. A timely payment, we talked about it, when you pay your payment on time. Strive to do something. Now this was a very, very, very beautiful verb which was used here. Strive to do something, to make a great effort to achieve something. So if you strive, you make an effort. Financial responsibility are the things that you are responsible about from a financial perspective. And until utility bill, which we already had that previously, a bill for electricity, water or gas. Let's go to the last question. Is there anything you could do to make your bills cheaper? So is there a way that exists for you in order to create less bills actually? Certainly, undoubtedly, without a doubt. There are several strategies one can employ to potentially reduce the cost of bills and enhance overall financial efficiency. So the candidate here says there are different types of strategies that a person can employ. There are several strategies one can employ. This could have easily been replaced with there are several strategies a person can use. So this is a much more beautiful expression, to potentially reduce the cost of bills and enhance overall financial efficiency. to reduce the bills, potentially, on paper, and enhance, improve overall financial efficiency, to make your financial efficiency even much better. Firstly, conducting comprehensive research means doing comprehensive research, and comparison shopping can provoke to be invaluable. So if you do, can prove to be invaluable, sorry. So if you do comprehensive research and comparison shopping is when you compare the price of something or a product in different shops, can prove to be invaluable. This is also a very beautiful expression which you can write down. If something can prove to be invaluable, if something is invaluable, it means it has a very high price. You can't put a price on it if something is invaluable. So it's very, very, very actually valuable for you. So invaluable, it actually means extremely useful, extremely valuable. Moreover, negotiating with service providers can yield favorable outcomes. So if you negotiate, you talk to a service provider as a person who provides you with a service. For example, with your internet is provided by a company. That company is referred to as your service provider. Can yield, can produce, can lead to, yield means actually produce or lead to, favorable outcomes. An outcome is a result. If an outcome is favorable, it means it is in your favor. You like that kind of outcome. Many companies are open to discussing customized plans. If you are open to something, it means you are ready to accept that thing. A customized plan is a plan which has been designed specifically for a certain person, in this case the candidate, or you who want to use it. So if you ask for a customized plan from your service provider, you can do that. It means that you ask that person to give you a specific plan out of the ordinary, or discount rates for loyal customers, or a discount rate is when you pay or buy something at a reduced price for loyal customers. A customer who is loyal doesn't go anywhere else and sticks with you until the end. In addition, furthermore, embracing energy efficient practices can significantly curtail utility bills. If you embrace something, okay, now, first of all, I want to talk about the meaning of the word embrace, and then we're going to talk about what it means here. Embrace, the most common meaning is to hug somebody or something, okay? But here it means, here it means to include, to eagerly accept something, okay, or an opinion. If you accept energy efficient practices, so embracing energy efficient practices, accepting energy efficient practices can significantly curtail utility bills. Okay. Now the other word here is curtail, which means to cut or to reduce something to a certain level. Sorry, guys. Yes. So it can reduce your utility bills to a very great amount. Additionally, now again, the candidate had previously used moreover, so here is replaced moreover with additionally, and it is also used in addition. Look at the cohesive devices which have been used. Additionally, in addition, and moreover, very beautifully used. Taking advantage of available discounts. Here, take advantage has a positive meaning. Take advantage of something means to take advantage of a specific situation. Take advantage of somebody, on the other hand, means when you actually use somebody or abuse that person. So if you take advantage of available discounts which are at your disposals, promotions, when a company or a product maker wants to promote something, it wants to tell everybody that that thing exists, and loyalty programs, a program which is designed specifically for customers which are loyal to a specific company, can yield tangible benefits. Yield means produce. A tangible benefit is a benefit which you can actually feel. That is also a beautiful expression to be used when you are trying to talk about the specific topic. Let's take a look at the related vocabulary. Employ a strategy. It means to use a particular object, method, or skill in order to achieve something. If you employ a strategy, you use a strategy. Elucidate on something. If you elucidate on something, you clarify that specific thing. This is also a very good type of a cohesive device or an opener for a sentence. Because, for example, you can say, if I were to elucidate on the topic, if I were to clarify the topic, if I were to talk a little bit more about the topic. Okay, so that's also what this means. Prove to be invaluable. If something proves to be invaluable, it's extremely useful. Cost-saving options. Now, this was also a very beautiful expression. It means cost-effective options. Bringing the best possible profits or advantages for the lowest possible costs. So if something is cost-saving or cost-effective, it means that you get the best price in order to do that. Budgetary constraints. A constraint is something that limits your freedom to do what you want. Okay, the synonym for it is restriction. If you have a budgetary constraint or restraint, it means that you can't use all the budget that you have, or you are not making that much money. Both of them are actually possible in this specific case. Next word was curtail, means to reduce or limit something. The synonym is for curtail is cut. The new law will curtail police powers. If a new law is being passed to actually reduce the power that the police have over people. The next expression is budget conscious mindset. If your mindset is budget conscious, it means you pay attention to the amount of money you actually have. So if you have a budget conscious mindset, it means the amount of money you have is important for you. It's kind of a synonym for stingy, but not exactly. A synonym for budget conscious would be money conscious. You can replace budget with money. Somebody who is mindful of their budget and watchful of their spending, takes care of their budget and pays attention to what they spend. Superfluous expenses. If something is a superfluous expense, it is unnecessary. It means you do not need that thing and you buy it out of habit or out of the fact that actually shopping is a good thing and it makes you feel good. And the last one, which we already had, allocate sources towards paying bills. It means you actually use a specific kind of source in order to pay a specific bill. Okay, and that's actually the end of the first part, and then we will go to part 2. Okay guys, welcome back, and let's go to the task 2 question. Let's take a look at the question together, and then let's go through the answer that the candidate provided for this question. The question was, describe some food or drink that you learned to prepare. You should say what food or drink you learned to prepare, when and where you learned to prepare this, how you learned to prepare this, and explain how you felt about learning to prepare this food. The candidate chose to talk about a traditional Iranian dish called korma sabzi, which is, I believe, one of the most delicious dishes that exists on the surface of the planet, and I do recommend everybody to try this dish if you haven't tried it so far. It is a delight and absolutely perfect dish to try out. So, the food that I learned to prepare is a traditional Iranian dish called korma sabzi. This is the first sentence. He explains about what the dish he wants to talk about actually includes. Korma sabzi is a flavorful and aromatic stew made with a combination of herbs, meat, and kidney beans. Now, here the candidate is trying to explain what korma sabzi actually includes. Okay, so it says, the candidate actually says that korma sabzi is a flavorful and aromatic stew. Now, if something is flavorful, it means it's full of flavor. If it's aromatic, it means it has a very nice smell. A stew is actually a kind of meal that is made, is a little bit watery inside. Made with a combination, which is it's combined of herbs, meat, and kidney beans. These are the different ingredients that are used in making that specific dish. Now, next sentence. I had the opportunity to learn how to prepare this iconic Persian dish during a cooking class that I attended in Tehran, Iran, a few years ago. If you have the opportunity, now look at this expression, if you have the opportunity to do something, okay, it means you have the chance to do that thing. He had the opportunity to learn to prepare this iconic Persian dish. Look at this expression. This is beautifully said sentence. I have the opportunity to learn how to prepare. Prepare means make this iconic Persian dish. Now let's talk about this word, dish, a little bit. Dish here refers to a cuisine or a kind of food that is related to a specific region or a country or a place. If something is iconic, it means it's very unique for that specific part of the that country or that place. So he has learned to prepare this iconic Persian dish during a cooking class, a class which they teach you cooking. I attended in Tehran. If you attend a course, or if you attend a lecture, or if you attend anything, it means you participate, you take part, you are physically there, you are physically present in that lecture. The cooking class took place in a charming culinary institute in the heart of Tehran. Now, look at the expressions that he has used here. The candidate added charming to the culinary institute. A culinary institute is an institute that teaches things related to cooking. If anything is, the word culinary means related to cooking. So, and charming is the adjective which has been added to the culinary institute. It brings about charm. In the heart of Tehran. Now, look at that. The heart of a city means the center of that city, and it's very beautifully used. It was a hands-on experience. If something is a hands-on experience, it means you are practically involved in doing that specific activity. It's not theoretical, it's practical. You actually use your hands. Okay, where a participant is a person who takes part, okay, or a person who attends a place or a lecture or whatever. We're guided by seasoned Iranian chefs. A seasoned chef is a chef that is very good at what he or she does. So if you're a seasoned chef, it means you are perfect at what you do. In mastering the art of korma sabzi, in being a master in creating this deliciously wonderful dish. Well, if I talk about this too much, it's because I love this dish myself personally. That's why I'm recommending everybody to actually try it out. The class was conducted in a warm and welcoming atmosphere. Now, the class was conducted means it was held. Okay, the class was held. This is the expression which you can use everywhere. A warm and welcoming atmosphere. Now, this can be referred to any type of class, any type of place that you go. For example, you can say the museum had a warm and welcoming atmosphere, okay? Or, I don't know, the club had a warm and welcoming atmosphere. It means you felt warm and welcomed when you went there. With the chefs sharing knowledge and passion for Iranian cuisine. So the chefs were sharing their knowledge, the amount of knowledge that they had, and passion for Iranian cuisine, Iranian dishes. So we began, now it's trying to explain how the dish is actually made. We began by learning about the essential ingredients used in korma sabzi. So begin by doing something, began by learning about the essential ingredients used in korma sabzi. Now, if you begin doing something, it means you started it, learned. What did they learn? The essential ingredients. Ingredients means the different things that are used in order to make a specific dish, which is actually something that you eat. So the basic ingredients, the first things that are used to make korma sabzi. Next sentence, the chef emphasized the importance of fresh herbs. The chefs, if you emphasize something, it means that you say that it's very important. They emphasize the importance of fresh herbs including parsley, cilantro, and fenugreek leaves. These are all different types of herbs which are used in order to make korma sabzi. Now, the thing that I have to point out here is that the very, very beautiful use of the lexical resources. The candidate actually knows the names of these herbs, and the candidate has actually used them very properly in this context to refer to these, which shows that he has a wide range of vocabulary, which give the stew a distinctive flavor. If something is distinctive, it's unique. A distinctive flavor is a unique flavor, is a flavor that you do not experience when you are eating any other dish. Okay? It's distinctive or unique to that specific dish. We also learned about the specific cuts of meat, such as lamb and beef, that are traditionally used in this dish. Now, a cut is a different type of cutting meat, so they learned about specific cuts, the ways to cut meat, such as lamb and beef, different types of meat that are traditionally used in this dish. This dish is made with lamb or beef. It doesn't make a difference. You can make it with both types of meat, depending on how you like the dish to be. Next, we learned the intricate process of preparing the herbs. Now, the next word which we have here is the word intricate. Intricate means complicated. We had this, I think, in the previous section as well. Intricate means complicated, complex, or elaborate process of preparing the herbs. So the first step in making korma sabzi is actually preparing and making the herbs ready for the stew. Next sentence, the chef taught us the past form of the verb teach, how to finely chop the herbs and saute them in a generous amount of oil until they released their fragrant aroma. So many beautiful expressions here to work on. Finely chop the herbs. If you chop something, you divide them into very smaller pieces using a knife. So they actually chop the herbs down. If you saute something, it means you fry it in oil. Usually there's a specific technique for doing this. You fry something very quickly and the oil that you use is very little. You don't lose a lot of oil in order to do that. But anyhow, in a generous amount of oil. Here, the korma sabzi is a dish which uses a lot of oil, so that's something you have to bear in mind if you want to try out this specific dish. You should know that it does include a lot of oil, until they released their fragrant aroma. Now, look at this beautiful expression at the end of the sentence, very finely placed and used. Until they released their fragrant aroma. Fragrant and aroma, both of them have the same meaning. Both of them mean strong, pleasant smell. Okay, so a fragrant aroma is a combination, is a collocation which is used here. Until they release their fragrant aroma, it means that until the point that we could smell the good smell of herbs coming from actually preparing them. We learned the importance of patience. Okay, we learned that we have to be patient. It's important to be patient in this step, in this part of the cooking, as properly cooked herbs are crucial for achieving the authentic taste of korma sabzi. So, what the candidate is trying to point out here is that if you don't cook the herbs properly and correctly, you won't achieve that authentic taste, the taste that is unique to that specific dish, which is korma sabzi in this specific case. Once the herbs were cooked, when used at the beginning of a sentence, now just look at this, when you use it at the beginning of the sentence, it means after. So, after the herbs were cooked, we added meat to the pot. They added the meat. A pot is actually the container which you put everything inside that, allowing it to brown and develop its flavors. If you allow meat to brown, it means you allow it to change color. The color of the meat changes and it becomes brown and develop its flavors. If the flavors develop, it means they actually combine with each other and create that specific flavor that we are actually looking for when we are cooking korma sabzi. The chefs then demonstrated. Now, demonstrate here, the word demonstrate means show. So the chefs then showed how to add the kidney beans. This is also another crucial ingredient in the process of making korma sabzi. along with other ingredients like dried limes and turmeric. Again, different types of ingredients which are used. You can check them up in your dictionaries and see exactly what these ingredients are. They're not things that I can actually explain them to you. They are ingredients which are used while preparing such a dish. So you can just check them up in your dictionary and it will show you what they are, which contribute to the complexity of flavors in the stew. If something contributes to something, it actually helps to make something happen. So it helps to make the flavors of the stew more complex. It means it makes the flavors of the stew different. It creates different types of flavors in that specific type of dish. We learned about the significance of slow cooking. Now, this is a technique for cooking. When you don't cook something very fast, you give it time to actually cook. And the significance actually means importance. Now, one of the most important points I have to mention here is that significance is mispronounced by many of the candidates and many of the students who are preparing themselves for the IELTS exam, and it's pronounced significance. It's wrong. It's significance. The stress is on the N, significance, and after the C you have a schwa. So it's significance, not significance, of slow cooking. So they learned about the importance of slow cooking and allowing the ingredients to simmer together. If you allow something to simmer, simmer means to boil gently. You don't allow it to boil very strongly. You let it boil very, very gently and slowly. Okay? So you have to turn the heat down after your water or your stew reaches boiling level. You turn the heat down and you allow your stew to simmer, which means to boil very gently, creating a rich and velvety texture. If you create a velvet is actually a specific kind of texture, and if something is rich, it's very thick and good to taste. Now, if you do try ghormeh sabzi, I'm sure that you will remember everything that I have told you in this speaking. Learning to prepare ghormeh sabzi was an enriching experience for me. Now, learning to prepare ghormeh sabzi, the expression is an enriching experience. If something is an enriching experience, it's valuable or meaningful. It's a valuable experience or a meaningful experience for you. The next sentence continues like this. It allowed me to immerse myself in the rich culinary heritage of Iran. Now, allows, first verb, allow somebody to do something. This is the verb, allow somebody to do something. This is the something part. So this is the first verb. So give somebody permission to do something. It has allowed the candidate to immerse himself in the rich culinary heritage of Iran. If you immerse yourself in something, you become completely involved, you become part of that activity. So, this is a very beautiful sentence. It says, allowed him to immerse himself in the rich culinary heritage of Iran. A heritage is the traditional beliefs or values, customs, or things like that, which are related to a family, to a country, to a society. It can be related to anything. So it allowed the candidate to immerse himself in the rich culinary heritage of Iran. This is the collocation which you can write down, rich culinary heritage. Or you can omit the culinary and get rich heritage. This is also an expression which can be used if you want to talk about the heritage of a country, and appreciate the depth of flavors that can be achieved with simple ingredients. And appreciate means, if you appreciate something, it means you believe that thing is actually very worthy. The depth of flavors, it means that flavors that he felt or he experienced were very, very strong and very beautifully combined, that can be achieved with simple ingredients. And as you might know, ghormeh sabzi is made with very, very simple ingredients. There's nothing complex about the ingredients which are used. The trick of the trade actually lies in how you cook it and how much you let the stew simmer in order for it to be ready to be served. As I followed the chef's instructions, so when he followed the chef's instruction and observed their techniques, if you observe somebody's technique, it means you pay attention to that person's technique and try to see what they are doing. I felt the sense of connection to Iranian culture. He feels that he is connected to the Iranian culture and its love for hearty and aromatic dishes. If a dish is hearty, it means it's very large. Iranians have this actually custom which they don't eat small dishes, they eat very large dishes. And aromatic, we talked about aromatic, which has a very nice smell. Furthermore, I was captivated by the history and symbolism associated with ghormeh sabzi. If you are captivated by something, now, first of all, to be captivated by something, that's the expression we have to use. You have to write it down. If you are captivated by something, it means that thing actually attracts you a lot, attracts your attention or holds your attention to a great level. So he was captivated by the history that the Iranian heritage actually had, and the symbolism associated with ghormeh sabzi. Ghormeh sabzi is a very symbolic dish. It's actually, to be totally fair, I have to say that it's one of the things that makes people believe that you can actually cook something properly. You have to be able to cook ghormeh sabzi in the Iranian culture. It's one of the things that you have to be good at doing, actually. So it's symbolic in many ways, associated with ghormeh sabzi. It is a dish that has been passed down through generations. If something is passed down through generations, it means you have learned it, or you have been taught that by other people. It hasn't been written down, they've just told it to you. This is an expression which is used quite often when you want to talk about something which has been passed down to you from other generations, carrying with it the stories and traditions of Iranian families. So there is an actual history behind the ghormeh sabzi dish, and it carries a weight. I mean, the ghormeh sabzi actually has a weight, carries with it the stories and traditions of Iranian families. So when families cook ghormeh sabzi or talk about it, actually there is definitely a story behind how it was cooked, who cooked it better, where it was cooked, and things like that. Learning to prepare this dish gave me a glimpse into the cultural significance of food and its ability to bring people together. Now, the reason, the actual experience of learning to create a dish gave the candidate a glimpse. Now, the meaning of glimpse, the literal meaning of glimpse, it means a very quick look at someone or something, okay? But here, it actually means a very short experience, okay? A glimpse, it means a very short experience of something that helps you understand something else. So, learning to prepare ghormeh sabzi gave him a very short experience, made him understand the cultural significance of food and its ability to bring people together. Cultural significance, this is also another collocation, means the cultural importance of food and its ability to bring people together. It means to create a group of people that sit around each other in order to eat something, in this case. And as I have always explained, in task 2, you have to wrap your speaking up, so there must be a conclusion section to your speaking. In conclusion, learning to prepare ghormeh sabzi was a delightful journey into the heart of Iranian cuisine. So the fact that he has learned to prepare ghormeh sabzi has been a delightful journey. Delightful means something that makes you feel happy, a very interesting journey, or a journey that gives you joy into the heart of Iranian cuisine. We had this at the beginning of the section 2. The experience allowed me to appreciate the intricate techniques. This experience has allowed somebody to do something again. Look at the expression here, allow somebody to do something. Appreciate, it means We also talked about to appreciate something, it means to pay a lot of respect for that thing or make that thing important for you. The techniques, the aromatic herbs, the herbs that have a very good smell, and the rich flavors or tastes that define this traditional dish, that give definition to this traditional dish. It provided me with a deeper understanding. If you give somebody a deeper understanding of something, you give that person a better understanding of that specific subject, or that's the matter at hand, of Iranian culture, of the culture that Iranians actually have, and the sense of pride. Sense of pride, it's also an expression. It means that you feel proud in being able to recreate a beloved Iranian recipe. If you are able to do something, it means you have the ability to do it. Recreate means to create something for a second time, for a third time, for any amount of time. Beloved Iranian recipe. If somebody or something is beloved, it means that every person loves or likes that specific thing or that person. Now, let's take a look. Let's take a look at the vocabulary together. Flavorful and aromatic dish. We talked about this first one. It means a dish that has a very good taste and a very good smell. Culinary institute was an institute related to cooking. Anything which is culinary means related to cooking. I talked about hands-on experience. If you do something hands-on, it means you are doing something yourself rather than just talking about it. So it's a practical experience. Iranian cuisine are Iranian dishes, or the things that Iranians actually eat on a regular basis. Essential ingredients were the ingredients that were used and are very important. When you say that there are some essential ingredients for this dish, it means if we don't have those, the dish won't taste or look like the way it should. So these are the essential things that you need. We talked about these. These were the different ingredients that were used to prepare this specific dish. Parsley, cilantro, and fenugreek leaves were used. Again, if you have problems with these words, check them up in your dictionaries and you will find the meanings of them as soon as possible. Distinctive flavor. I also talked about distinctive flavor, which means unique flavor, a flavor which you have never experienced before. Intricate process of doing something. We talked about intricate. If process is intricate, it means it's complicated, complex, or elaborate. Saute, we talked about, this expression is fry quickly in a little hot fat, which there are different techniques for doing this as well. Fragrant aroma, I said both of them have the same meaning. Both mean a strange, pleasant smell, but they have been put together to create a very beautiful collocation which you can use. Turmeric, now this is an expression, this is one of the ingredients, this is one of the main ingredients, but I think you will understand it. It's a yellow powder used to give a special color or taste to food. This is one of the ingredients which is very common in Iranian cuisine. Contribute to something. We had this one as well. It means to help to make something happen. Simmer was to make your pot, your boil, or whatever actually boil, but very gently. Next word we have on the list is the word velvet, a type of cloth made from silk, cotton, or nylon, which with a thick, soft surface. The surface of velvet is actually very soft. Enriching experience. If something is an enriching experience, it's valuable or meaningful, okay, that has added something special or positive to your life. So an enriching experience is both a valuable and a meaningful experience. Immerse yourself in something. If you immerse yourself in an activity, or you immerse yourself in an idea, or let's say you immerse yourself in books, doesn't make that much of a difference. It means to become completely involved in an activity. If you are totally immersed in an activity, you usually lose track of time. It means you don't understand when time has flown by, and you don't know, and you've been working on a specific project for lots of hours, for example. Heritage is the traditional beliefs, values, or customs of a family, country, or society. A synonym for the words heritage can be inheritance. I said we talked about hearty meals that are referred to meals which are very big. They have very big proportions in Iran when you want to order something, especially if your mom has cooked and you're supposed to eat that. Your mom will definitely give you a very hearty dish. Be captivated by somebody or something. This was another expression which was used. It means to attract somebody very much and hold their attention. And the last one, pass something down. If you pass something down to the next generation, it means to give or teach something to people who are younger than you or live after you. So if you pass something down, you teach that specific thing to people who are younger so they can actually teach it to other people later on. When they get older, they can do the same thing for you. So this actually passing down happens from generation to generation. Okay, this is the end of the second section. Well, okay guys, let's move on to task 3 and take a look at the questions in this part. The first question was, what kinds of things can children learn to cook? It's a very beautiful question which was asked. Really like the question myself. In my opinion, from my perspective, from my point of view, we've already covered this expression extensively in our previous videos. So I'm sure you've written it down. You are already familiar with this expression. Children can learn to cook a wide variety of dishes that are suitable for their age and skill. Again, it's to a great extent paraphrase the topic. The candidate can learn to cook, learn to do something. Look at the expression here. The structure of the verb, which is used after learn, you need to use the verb, you need to use the word to, and then the simple form of the verb is used. A wide variety of dishes. It means different types and different sorts of dishes which are suitable for their age and skill level. So this was the opening sentence which started the first question. Cooking not only develops their culinary skills but also fosters independence, creativity and the sense of responsibility. Okay, first of all, if you develop something, it means you better something, you make that thing better, you become better at doing that thing. It is cooking, it is used not only the actually structure which is used here, which is a very, very, very useful structure, and it's also a structure which will gain points for you on the speaking in the IELTS section, is the not only but also structure. I do strongly recommend you to check it out in a grammar book, if you will. And the best grammar book to actually go and check it out is Practical English Usage. It's a very nice book. Not only develops their culinary skills, so develop means make something better. Culinary skills, we talked about this, means skills that are related to cooking, but also fosters independence. Foster means to help create a skill or a feeling or anything. If you foster something, you help that thing. So it fosters independence. It helps for you to create independence, creativity, doing things in a novel and new way, and the sense of responsibility. A sense of responsibility is when you feel responsible for something and you do it responsibly. Let me give you some examples of things that children can learn to cook. So now here the candidate wants to talk about the different things that he thinks that children can actually learn to cook. So he wants to give some examples of things that children can learn to cook. The candidate actually talks about some very simple examples of cooking. To start with, they can learn to make simple breakfast items. So the first thing he wants to talk about are the items that children can learn to cook when they are making breakfast. I want to emphasize the use of the modal verb can here. These are the verbs which are very useful and are strongly recommended to be used actually when you are talking about, when you are actually doing the speaking. They include can, could, will, would, shall, should, may, might, must. These are the modal verbs that we have. They are called the modals. And the most important thing you need to know about these verbs is that they stick to the main verb of your sentence, which in this case is learn. And when they stick to the verb which follows has to take the base form or the simple form. You can't change the form of that specific verb. Now, Children can start by learning how to make basic breakfast items, such as scrambled eggs, pancakes, and oatmeal. So the candidate wants to refer to what children can learn to cook. They can make basic breakfast items. Here, basic means simple breakfast items, such as scrambled eggs, which is a certain type of eggs, for a certain way of making eggs. Pancakes, I'm sure everybody's familiar with this. It's a kind of meal which you can have for breakfast or any other time during the day. And oatmeal also is another dish which you can prepare to eat for breakfast. These dishes require minimal ingredients. If something requires minimal ingredients, if a dish requires minimal ingredients, it means it doesn't have many ingredients in order to prepare it. And cooking techniques. And the techniques you need are not that sophisticated or developed or advanced as well, making them ideal for beginners. If something is ideal, it means it's the best form. For a beginner, it means a person who does not know that much about a specific thing. In this specific case, cooking. So if you're a beginner at something, it means you've just started learning about that thing. Then next comes sandwiches and wraps. They're both the same thing. The sandwich and the wrap are both basically the same kind of meal. Teaching children how to prepare sandwiches and wraps allows them to explore different combinations of ingredients and develop their own preferences. Now, again, we have the use of the verb allow, so we talked about this a lot. Teaching children how to prepare sandwiches and wraps. So you prepare here means make. Allows them, gives them the opportunity to explore different combinations of ingredients and develop their own preferences. So sandwiches and wraps are a little bit more complicated than making, for example, scrambled eggs or a pancake. So it gives them the opportunity, it allows them to experience or explore different combinations of ingredients. It means they actually have the opportunity to add different types of things together and develop their own preferences. If you develop your own preference, you like to make a specific dish in a specific way. You, for example, add a little bit more spices to your dish, or you don't like it to be too salty or too sweet or anything like that. So that's your preferred way of actually making that dish and making it taste. So you get to use your own preference when you are preparing that dish. And I want to talk about the pronunciation of this word as well. Preference is a noun. It's pronounced preference, but the verb form, which is this, prefer. So it's prefer, but preference. So pay attention to the pronunciation of the word as well. They can learn how to assemble the ingredients, spread condiments, and handle knives safely. So the first thing they learn is how to assemble the ingredients. It's to put the ingredients beside each other. Spread condiments. Condiment here means a powder or liquid such as salt or ketchup or whatever that is used to give your food a specific or special taste. So spread the condiments and handle knives safely. This is something that you have to teach children because they are very dangerous. So you have to be able to teach children how to work with a knife properly. If you handle a knife safely, it means you know how to work with a knife and not cut yourself. God forbid. Salads and healthy snacks can also be a good alternative. Here, alternative means option. Okay, so salads and snacks, healthy snacks, can be a good option, can be a viable option, can also be used instead of good here, which is another example for good. Encouraging children to make salads and healthy snacks. If you encourage the children to actually prepare, instead of make it, the candidate could have used, or it was better for him to use the word prepare, salads and healthy snacks, introduces them to a variety of vegetables. If you introduce somebody to something, this is the form, it means you familiarize that person with that specific thing. So it introduces them to a variety of vegetables, to a number of vegetables, to different vegetables and fruits, which make the dish they are preparing much healthier. They can learn how to wash and chop vegetables. You can learn to wash them. Chop them means actually divide them into smaller pieces. Mix dressings. Now, A dressing is a sauce that you use for a salad, which usually consists of vinegar and herbs and things like that. It's used for flavoring and create nutritious and visually appealing plates. Two beautiful expressions are used here. Nutritious means something which is rich in nutrients. Nutrients are the things that are good and healthy for your body. And this is a beautiful expression. I think this is the most beautiful expression which is used in this context. Visually appealing plate. If a plate is visually appealing, it means it has been designed beautifully. It means when you look at that dish, you enjoy just looking at the appearance of that dish or the presentation of that dish or how that dish is actually put in front of you, which is, I think, a very important item when you are preparing a dish or a meal. Last but not least, this is also a very beautiful expression you can use when you are speaking. Last but not least means in the end, pasta and rice dishes. Making pasta and rice are also a good idea for children to learn. So children can also learn how to make pasta and rice. Preparing simple pasta or rice dishes can be an exciting learning experience for children. The first part is pretty simple, preparing simple pasta and rice dishes. This is the collocation I want you to learn here. Can be an exciting, let me completely mark it for you, can be an exciting learning experience, an experience which you learn something and it also creates excitement for you. Instead of saying can be an experience, the candidate has decided to use can be an exciting learning experience. Much stronger and better expression to use. They can learn how to boil pasta. As you already know, when you want to make pasta, you have to boil it, or cook rice, and then experiment with different sauces, use different sauces, you can add different sauces, vegetables, and proteins to create delicious meals. Protein is actually any type of meat that you use in order to create a specific dish. Overall, children can learn a wide range of cooking skills. Children can learn a wide variety of cooking skills. Instead of range, the candidate could have used the word variety as well in order to express what he was trying to say in this part. A wide variety of cooking skills, from basic techniques, from simple techniques, to more advanced culinary endeavors. Now, an endeavor is an attempt to do something new or different. So more advanced culinary attempts or experiences can also be used instead of that as well, by nurturing their passion for cooking. If you nurture something, you help that idea or feeling develop or become better. So by nurturing, by developing, a synonym for nurturing can be developing their passion for cooking, okay, the passion that they have, their eagerness that they have for cooking, and providing them with opportunities. Provide somebody with an opportunity. This is also a very useful and beautiful expression that you can use in this section. So if you provide somebody with an opportunity, you provide somebody with a chance, or you give somebody a chance, okay, to experiment and explore. We empower them. If you empower somebody, you give that person more power to become confident and capable in the kitchen. So you become confident, you feel confident enough to actually prepare a specific dish or food inside the kitchen. A very beautiful answer for the first question. Let's recap the vocabulary. Culinary skills, we talked about this on several occasions in the speaking. It means things related to cooking, skills related to cooking, and it is a formal expression which can be also used in writing. The second one is foster independence. Foster means to help a skill, feeling, or idea develop over a period of time. And the synonym for foster can be encourage and promote. Both of these can be used as synonyms for foster. Now, a wrap, we talked about this, is a type of sandwich made with thin bread which is rolled around meat, vegetables, etc. This is also a kind of sandwich, but if you have seen, or like for example, the hamburger buns or things that are used to just cut them in half and you use them, a wrap is actually made with a thin layer of meat, which is very common in the Middle East. These kinds of wraps are really used in the Middle Eastern countries. These kinds of sandwiches are very common in Middle Eastern countries, and they are used there. We talked about condiment as a powder or liquid such as salt or ketchup that you use to give a special taste to food. So that is actually what a condiment is. We talked about dressing as well as sauce for salads, typically one consisting of oil and vinegar with herbs and other flavorings. So a dressing is something you use to add a certain flavor to your food, but you actually prepare it yourself. We talked about visually appealing plate. A visually appealing plate is a plate which looks beautiful and you enjoy looking at it. These are the plates which you take pictures of them and actually post them on your social media. Endeavor is a formal word, means an attempt to do something new or different. Nurture, again, is a verb and it's formal, means to help a plan, idea or feeling to develop. And the last word for this part was empower, means to give somebody more control over their life or situation. The synonym for it can also be allow or permit. Now let's move on to the second question which was asked. Do you think it is important for children to learn to cook? So this was the second question that was asked from the candidate. Absolutely is the word that he has decided to start answering this question with. I firmly believe, now look at this beautiful expression used here, I strongly believe can be used instead of firmly, but I do recommend using firmly, which is a very beautiful way to start your sentence, that it is crucial. Now look at again, and at another expression which is used here, crucial, vital, fundamental, necessary, okay? Again, we have talked about crucial in several occasions on previous videos, so I think if it's not your first time, you're already familiar with this word. For children to learn how to cook. Again, paraphrase of the topic, we talked about this. It's one of the most important techniques that you have to try and master when answering questions related to the IELTS, specifically in part 3, because it allows you, it gives you a window in order to think and try to come up with an appropriate answer for the question that you are trying to actually provide an answer for. There are several reasons, there are various reasons, there are a number of reasons. All of these can be replaced with the word several. Why this skill holds significant importance. Now, look at this. The candidate could have easily said, there are some reasons why this skill is important. This would be the simplified version of the answer to this question. But the candidate decides to answer the question in this form. There are several reasons why this skill holds significant importance. It holds significant importance means it is very important in their overall development and well-being. Okay, in their general, overall means general development and well-being. Firstly, first point, learning to cook equips children with essential life skills. So if you learn to cook, you have some life skills that will make your life easier. Essential life skills. Essential is a synonym for crucial here in the first line. So an essential life skill is a skill which you need and you require in order to live a better life. As they grow older, as they age, instead of grow older, you could have used the word age, and become more independent. So if you become more independent, it means you move out, you get your own house, you make your own money. Being able to prepare their own meals, being able to cook, so instead of prepare their own meals, you could have used cooks, ensures that they have the necessary knowledge and make healthy food choices. So you make sure that your children actually know what they are eating and they do make the right choice in order to eat something proper and healthy, which does not destroy their health, and also something nutritious as well alongside that. Cooking empowers them to take control of their nutrition. We talked about empower, we already had it here. Allow somebody. Cooking allows them to take control of their nutrition. Take control of something means gets that into your own control. If you take control of your nutrition, it means you pay attention to what you are eating. So it empowers them to take control of their nutrition, what they are eating. Understand the importance of balanced meals. A balanced meal is a meal which includes all the ingredients that your body requires. It has proteins, it has carbohydrates, it has fats, and it also has, if I'm not mistaken, it's proteins, carbs, and vegetables. So fats and vegetables, yeah. So if a balanced diet is it's a diet which includes all of these inside a specific serving, and make informed decisions about what they consume. Now look at this expression, make informed decision, or make an informed decision. If you make an informed decision, the decision you are making is with previous knowledge and information, and you make that decision based on some knowledge or something that we already know. About what they consume. Consume here means eat. Okay, so consume in general means a person who uses something, but here it means eat. We have consume as the verb. Consumer is a person who uses something, and the noun form we also have consumption. So you can write these three words down as well. Secondly, cooking fosters creativity and self-expression. So we talked about foster already. So the second thing that cooking does is that it develops creativity and self-expression. Self-expression means that to be able to express your feelings or thoughts. So you are able to express what you are feeling or what you are thinking. So cooking also helps you in that aspect of your life as well. It allows children to experiment with flavors. It gives them, look at the use of the verb allow. You can replace it with permit as well. To experiment with flavors, textures and ingredients. So different flavors, different textures, and different ingredients related to creating food, encouraging them to think critically and problem solve in the kitchen. So critical thinking is also something which you have to use in the kitchen. That's a very interesting fact to know, and it's actually true. For those of you who do cook and know how to cook, you know that this is something which we do use in the kitchen. And problem solve. We had this expression in the previous videos. We had problem solving skills, which are related to skills which you use in order to solve a specific problem. Now, they can explore their culinary interests. They can explore what they are interested in regarding food, develop their own unique recipe. If you develop your own unique recipe, you develop a recipe, you cook a specific type of food which you have made yourself, which is actually related to some extent critical thinking, which we talked about up here, and express their creativity through food presentation. Express here means show. You can show how creative you are by preparing a specific dish or a specific meal for somebody. This not only enhances their confidence, but also stimulates their imagination. If you enhance something, you make that thing better. So if you enhance somebody's confidence, you make their confidence boost, go through the roof, but also stimulates their imagination. Okay, if you stimulate something, you try to make that thing grow and become better. Okay, so now again, you look at the use of not only but also here. So I did emphasize that you go check this structure out. It is being used again repeatedly here. Lastly, in the end, cooking teaches valuable practical skills beyond the kitchen. So the candidate is trying to say that the importance of children learning how to cook goes far beyond the confines of the kitchen walls. So they actually learn practical lessons which go beyond the kitchen. Now, what are these lessons? This is a very nice way to wrap up, I think, this specific speaking section. Children learn about organization, which we know is very important in the kitchen. Time management, again, a very important factor. And multitasking. All of these are skills which you need to have in order to be able to be a good cook and in order to be able to be a good person in life. So, organization, time management, and multitasking. All of them very beautiful words which actually improve the lexical resources that the candidate has actually used in this section, and beautifully related to the context of this question. As they plan and execute meals. As they plan and, here execute means actually make meals. They develop patience, they become patient, as cooking often requires following step-by-step instructions. You become patient, okay? Patience is the noun form, patient is the adjective form of this verb. So they develop patience, they become patient people. Why? Because cooking requires following step-by-step instructions. You have to follow the cooking recipe to the T actually, and waiting for dishes to cook. Sometimes you have to wait a long time for a dish to be ready. In conclusion, wrapping up the question, the importance of children learning to cook cannot be overstated. If you overstate something, it means you exaggerate it. You can't exaggerate it enough. It means you have to pay attention to the fact that this is very important. You must pay attention to it. It empowers them, it gives them the power, it allows them to live, it empowers them with life skills, fosters creativity. We talked about all of these expressions above. Fosters creativity, strengthens family bonds, which definitely happens, and promotes independence, makes them more independent. By equipping children with the ability to prepare their own meals, we set them on a path towards a healthier and more fulfilling future. So if you equip somebody with something, look at this expression. If you equip somebody with something, you give them the power, you give them the ability to use that specific thing. So you equip children with the ability to prepare their own meals. They are able to cook their own food, prepare their own meals, cook their own food. We set them on a path, we put them on a path, set somebody on a path. This is also a beautiful expression which you can write down, towards a healthier and more fulfilling life future. If your life is healthy, it means you make healthy choices. If it's fulfilling, it means it's good. We talked about crucial, extremely important, or vital. It holds significant importance. I talked about this. I said it's a very beautiful expression to use. If something holds significant importance, it means that thing is very important. A nutritious meal, it means the process of giving or getting the right type of food for good health and growth. Okay, nutrition, sorry, it's not nutritious, it's nutrition. It means receiving enough food. And the opposite is malnutrition. Now, this is also a beautiful word. If you have malnutrition, it means your food is not nutritious enough for you. Make an informed decision. We talked about this. If you make an informed decision, the decision you make is based on previous information and you make a wise choice. Self-expression, we talked about this one as well. The expression of your feelings or thoughts, especially through activities such as painting, writing, or acting. And in the case of this question, cooking. Quality family time. We didn't have this when I want to talk about it here, because I believe that cooking does create quality family time. It's a time you spend with your family, which you talk about different things, and the time actually is important for you. Overstate means exaggerate. To talk about something in a way that makes it seem more important, serious, etc. than it really is. We said that we can't overstate this. It means the more you talk about it, the better it is. These were the expressions for this one. Let's go to the last question that was asked from the candidate. Do you think young people should learn to cook at home or at school? In my opinion, from my perspective, from my point of view, it is essential, vital, necessary, crucial for young people to learn cooking skills both at home and at school. So the candidate believes they should learn how to cook at home and at school. Both environments, both places offer unique benefits, offer benefits which are unique to their atmosphere or to their place, that contribute to a well-rounded culinary education. If something contributes to something, it helps. A well-rounded education or experience is a complete education. So, learning to cook at home provides a valuable opportunity. This is also a very good expression to use for young people to develop a strong foundation in cooking. So if you develop a strong foundation in cooking, it means what you know, the foundation of the groundwork that you put into cooking is very strong. You learn a lot of things, especially from your moms. You can learn pretty much a lot of techniques from your moms. Home cooking allows them to learn family recipes, so you learn something that is a family heritage for you, traditional techniques and cultural culinary practices that have been passed down through generations. Now, we talked about all of these expressions. We talked about pass down, something which means to teach something to somebody from a younger generation so that they can teach it to other people as well. So cultural culinary practices is the same as a culinary dish or something that you make for yourself. It promotes a sense of cultural identity. It gives you an identity, a cultural identity, because you learn to cook at home. So actually what you do is you learn the things or the meals which are related to your heritage or to your specific culture, and strengthens family bonds. It makes family bonds stronger as cooking becomes a shared activity. If something is a shared activity, it means that you do it with a group or a number of people. Additionally, now this is a beautiful expression also, furthermore, moreover, cooking at home instills a sense of responsibility and self-sufficiency. If you instill something in somebody, it means you teach somebody to think, behave, or feel in a particular way. So it actually creates a sense of responsibility and self-sufficiency. Self-sufficient means that you are able to provide all the things for yourself. You are able to take care of yourself. As young people actively participate in meal planning, grocery shopping, and meal preparation, because you have to, if you teach your children to cook at home, they have to participate, take part, be part of the planning, how you're going to prepare the food, grocery shopping, buying the ingredients, and preparing the actual food. These skills are invaluable for their future independence and overall well-being. We talked about overall well-being. They're invaluable. If something is invaluable, it means it's extremely useful. You can't put a value on it. It's very, very, very useful for their future independence, for them being independent in the future, and overall well-being, overall actually being a good person. Next sentence is a pretty long one. Let's mark it for you guys. Schools can provide structured cooking programs. Now the candidate is going to talk about what can happen at schools and how schools can be a part of teaching their children to cook. Schools can provide structured cooking programs. So if you provide a structured cooking program, it means there is a program behind the program. So you know what you're going to teach, because at home you don't have a plan. Here you do have a plan that introduce young people to a broader range of culinary techniques, food safety practices, and nutrition principles. Now, the benefit of school is that they introduce young people to a broader, to a wider, to a more range, to more culinary techniques, or a broader or a wider range of culinary techniques. Food safety practices, taking care of knives, how to use knives, how to actually work with fire, make sure that you don't burn yourself and stuff like that. And nutrition principles, the techniques, the basics of actually cooking. Cooking classes at school can expose them to new ingredients. So if you expose somebody to something, it means you make that person see or experience something new. So they can be exposed So the expression is expose somebody to something. So they see new ingredients, cooking styles, and international cuisines, international dishes which are cooked worldwide. Because when you are cook at home, it's related to your heritage, to your culture, to your customs, and usually moms, or actually what is cooked at home is related to yourself, your own traditions. But when you learn at school, you can learn things which are international, which are worldwide, expanding their culinary horizons. To expand your horizons or to broaden your horizons, both of them can be used in this context. Moreover, furthermore, we had that here, up here somewhere. Here it is. Additionally is a synonym for moreover. Cooking in school, in a school setting, fosters collaboration. So if you school in a setting, here means environment. If you cook in a school environment, it fosters collaboration, it creates collaboration, it helps the collaboration that you are actually creating with people. So again, look at how beautifully the candidate has used the word foster and not help. Teamwork, working together. Collaboration and teamwork are basically the same, synonyms. And communication skills, being able to communicate with other people as students work together and create meals, because students have to work as a group to create a specific type of meal. It also allows access to professional grade equipment. Now, this is also one of the advantages of making or preparing food at school, is that you have access to equipment which you might not actually have at home. Professional grade equipment, it means equipment which is used by professionals, like plates, knives, pans, spatulas and stuff like that, and facilities that may not be available in every home. As I already explained, some of the things that you have at school you may not have at your disposal when you are cooking at home. By combining home-based cooking, so what the candidate is trying to say in the end is, if you combine both these methods, so if you have something that you cook at home, if you have some experiences of cooking at home with school-based cooking education, so home-based cooking experience, look at the beautiful expression used here, and school-based cooking education. So at home it's an experience, at school it's an education. It has changed. The candidate has actually changed the word here to show that there is a difference. Young people receive a comprehensive culinary education. A comprehensive education is a complete education, an education which covers all the different aspects of what is needed to be taught to a specific person. They benefit from the traditions and intimate knowledge of cooking at home. So it's beneficial for them. They benefit from the traditions, we talked about this, and intimate knowledge of cooking at home. Intimate means something which is somebody or a person which you are very close to. And if you receive intimate knowledge, it means you receive knowledge which is very, very, very personal, and maybe not everybody will give that to you, while also gaining exposure to a wider culinary world through school programs. And we already learned that when you are taught at school, you get to learn about international cuisine as well. This integrated approach, integrated means combined. Okay, when you combine some things together, it's called an integrated approach. Makes sure that young people develop a strong foundation in cooking. We talked about to develop a foundation. It means the basis of their cookings become very strong, enabling them to make healthier food choices. Now, the verb is enable, a very useful verb. Enable somebody to do something. This is the verb. Enable somebody, them, to do. Here the verb is make something, healthier food choices. Enable them to make healthier food choices means give them the ability to make healthier food choices. Pursue culinary careers. It means go after a culinary career, meaning to become a chef if they are interested, and become self-sufficient individuals. We talked about being a self-sufficient person. If you are self-sufficient, It means you can take care of yourself without needing other people's help. You can do the things which you as a person should be able to do. In conclusion, I believe that a combination of learning to cook at home, so if you can combine learning to cook at home and at school, is crucial for young people. It's fundamental for young people. It provides them with diverse experiences. It provides them with a variety of experiences, deep understanding of culinary traditions. You understand traditions of food at a very deep level and the necessary skills to lead a healthy and independent life. And we talked about leading a healthy and independent life on several occasions in these texts. Well, let's wrap today's video up with the final vocabulary. Well-rounded, I talked about this. A well-rounded education or experience of life is complete and varied. It includes everything. If you instill something in somebody, you teach somebody to think, behave or feel in a particular way over a period of time. Self-sufficient, we just had it in the last sentence here. I think if I'm not mistaken, yeah, there it is, up there. Able to provide all the things you need without the help of other people. Self-sufficient to some extent is a synonym for independent. If something is invaluable, it means it's extremely or very useful. Incorporate, to include something as part of a group, system, plan, or etc. We talked about expose somebody to something, means make that person see or experience that specific thing, to make it possible for somebody to experience new ideas and ways of life, etc. And the final word we want to talk about today is integrated approach, which is a combined approach or an integrated system. An institution, etc. combines many different groups, sorry for the typo there, ideas or parts in a way that works well. Well guys, thank you for being with me until the end of this video. This brings us to the end of book 18. We did all 4 speakings of this book from the Cambridge series. Hopefully we will move on to the next book in our next videos, and I hope to see you very soon. Don't forget to follow us, don't forget to like us, it means a lot to us. Thank you once again and have a great time.